Welcome back to another episode of ROC Boys Football. The fellas heading to the ACC as we have a pretty intriguing matchup. When you look at what are the potential teams to be playing Clemson in the ACC Championship out of the Coastal Division, it looks like UNC has the inside lane on this. However, they are a very, very frustrating team to watch. Going up against a Pitt Panthers team that's going to play you close. Like, they play good defense. They run the football. Kind of a matchup of opposites. Pitt wants to play a very slow game, limit to possessions, not really get into a shootout. UNC wants to run and gun. I'm interested to see how this game plays out. I'm excited to get into it. Before we do, though, again, I just want to say thank you guys for the support you guys have shown the channel. Again, if you do like the content, consider subscribing. That helps the fellas out a lot, and we really do appreciate all the support. Over 2,000 subscribers in the last year. That is truly insane, and the support you guys have shown really does mean a lot. Without further ado, let's get into it. I want to start talking about this UNC team first because the ceiling for this team is so high. Now, we know what they've been doing on the offense side of the ball. You look at what Drake May's done. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the whole entire country. He's not even draft eligible yet. He's completing 70% of his balls in his first year starting for over 2,000 yards, 24 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. You look what he's done doing running the football as well. He's run for almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. This offense has so many ways it can hurt you. And when you have a quarterback that is as talented as Drake May, it's going to put up points. They've been running the football pretty well. I mean, guys like Amari Hampton, Caleb Hood, both averaging 6 yards a touch. Amari Hampton averaging, 4.7 yards a touch. They can run the football very well. I like how they try to run the football, kind of get those guys in space. And then you look at the wide receivers, and it's led by Josh Downs, who UNC's offense looked phenomenal when Josh Downs was hurt. Since Josh Downs has been back, I mean, when you have a guy that is as talented as Josh Downs in terms of winning downfield, creating separation, creating after the catch, this team is just so much more dynamic with him in. And you got guys like Antoine Green. Had guys like Bryson Nesbitt. There's so many ways for this UNC team to hurt you. And this Pitt defense is good, especially up front. You look at some of the guys they have rushing the passer. They like to create havoc. Going to be really interested to see if Pitt can slow down this UNC offense, because when you look at what UNC's done, not many people have been able to slow them down. They're averaging over 40 points per game, 500 yards of total offense. This is one of the best offenses we've seen, not only in the ACC but in the entire country. Now, on the flip side, the UNC defense has been brutal this year. And quite frankly, Gene Chizik, I know, is a very decorated coach. He did a great job at Auburn, won a national championship. I'm kind of surprised he still has his job. Even when you talk about they're a 6-1 team, right? They're a team that's having a lot of success. But the defense has been they don't really do anything that well. They're allowing a lot of points, 32 points. They don't really take the ball away at all. You look what they've done. They're only averaging 1 takeaway. They're allowing teams to run for almost 5 yards per carry, a 68% completion percentage against them. For as good as this offense is, this UNC defense has really struggled. And it's a defense that's really talented, in my opinion. You look at the secondary, guys like Grimes, Storm Duck, they just haven't really played well. I think the scheme is definitely lacking a little bit too, because you have so many talented guys, but guys seem to be running open a lot. Teams seem to be running the football a lot, and tackling hasn't been great. Quite frankly, if it's not Cedric Gray or Power Echols making the play, it seems to be a big play. And you have 2 guys who I think are some of the better linebackers in the ACC, and Cedric Gray, who's 74 tackles through 7 games, 2 interceptions. Power Echols, 66 tackles. They both get behind the line of scrimmage. They're both sideline to sideline guys, but the defense just has not been great. I'm kind of waiting for them to kind of figure it out. They're coming off a bye week where you might be able to get some guys healthy, get some guys a little bit more fresh, and maybe kind of install some defense that might actually work. Now, the good thing is they're going up against a Pitt team and I'm interested to hear what the Pitt Panther fans have to say about. You get rid of Coach Whipple, and obviously Pat Narduzzi wants to do it his own way. They want to run the football, they want to limit the possessions, and they want to kind of play a defensive brand of football. But that was the best offense last year we've seen Pitt have, probably in Pat Narduzzi's tenure. Now, I get you had guys like Kenny Pickett, Jordan Addison, but the offense, they're just so okay, it seems like, with just not having really that explosive passing game. But what they've been doing a very good job of is they have a very good offensive line That's a big group. It's an experienced group, and they run the football at a very, very high level, running for almost 5 yards per carry. Israel Abacand has been one of the more impressive, not out of nowhere backs. We've seen him on Pitt for a couple of years, but what he's been able to do, almost totaling 1,000 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry, some serious breakaway burners. He's very good between the tackles. That's kind of seems to be the story of the game when you're looking at if this Pitt offense can move the ball consistently against UNC. Now, the passing game has been not very good. Keaton Slovis coming in from USC, only completing 60% of his balls for 5 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. If anyone can get a passing game going, it's against the UNC defense. You saw Notre Dame do it. Notre Dame just could not move the football. They go and play UNC. All of a sudden, the offense looks like it's one of the most explosive teams in the country. This Pitt team, I think, is going to have to air it out because I think UNC is going to score. And Pat Narduzzi's probably going to get pushed a little bit to not really play that conservative brand of football and have to score and keep up with this UNC team that as good as Pitt's defense is, I think UNC is going to be able to figure out how to score. They've played some good defenses. They continue to put up points. This game seems to come down to what kind of style game is it going to be? Is Pitt going to be able to grind UNC down, kind of turn that clock, get the time of possession, run the football, and keep guys like Drake May and Josh Downs off the field? Or is it going to turn on to kind of one of those shootout games where UNC is putting up 50? Can Pitt keep up with scoring? That probably is the question. If you do see a shootout, which I do think you will, we haven't really seen a team force UNC into a non-shootout game. Excuse me. I think I like UNC to cover, 3 points against a Pitt team that I just have question marks on if they can put up the points they're going to need to be to keep it close against the UNC team. You look at what Pitt did last week against Louisville. This Pitt team hasn't looked great. They gave up 29 points to Virginia Tech. They lost to Georgia Tech in their last 3 games. And then they lost to Louisville. This team does not inspire a lot of confidence in me. I don't hate Pat Narduzzi. I actually think he's a phenomenal coach. I just don't really like the direction this Pitt offense is going. As good as their defense is, as good as they run the football, without having those explosive plays through the air, I struggle to see Pitt keeping it close with a UNC team that – shouldn't say keeping it close. I struggle to see Pitt going on the road and beating a UNC team that's probably going to put up 30, 35 points. I just don't know if Pitt has the firepower to kind of hang in there with them. And again, this UNC defense, I'm sure UNC fans are just so frustrated because this defense is talented. It is not like they don't have the guys to have a good defense. They've recruited the positions very, very well. They just aren't performing on the field. This might be the game where UNC figures it out. Pitt hasn't been great with turnovers. UNC maybe can steal a few of those. I like UNC here. I probably lean towards the under, though, because I do think Pitt in this, if you look at the under, I think the total's sitting at 65, 64 and a half. Like, Pitt's just not going to want to score points. I think they're going to want to try to grind this game out, so you might see that clock turn a little bit. But again, I'm probably riding with that UNC to cover the 3 points. I think they're a good team. I think they're just going to outscore Pitt. It's going to be a good one, a battle of kind of two opposites. Excited it, but before we leave, I just want to say again, thank you guys for the support you guys have shown the channel. Again, if you like the content, you like talking ball, you like talking ACC football, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.